The void of space stretched endlessly before Station Omega, humanity's final military outpost. Commander Elena Santos stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the quantum sensor readings that painted an increasingly grim picture. The collective's warships were appearing in greater numbers every hour, their biomechanical vessels forming a net that would soon engulf the station and Earth's last hope of survival. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of 12 billion lives resting on her shoulders. Earth had fallen silent 3 days ago, its defense grid overwhelmed by the same forces now gathering at humanity's final doorstep. Lieutenant James Chen's fingers danced across the holographic interface. 73 collective vessels detected, Commander. Their energy signatures suggest they're running hot, weapons primed and shields at maximum. He paused, swallowing hard. Conservative estimates give us 2 hours before they're in strike range. Elena turned from the viewport, her uniform bearing the distinctive insignia of the human space service, a phoenix rising from Earth's silhouette. "And the Perseverance?" "Final systems check is complete," Chen replied. "Dr. Morrison reports the quantum core is stable, but she's never been tested in actual combat conditions. The HFY Perseverance was humanity's last gambit, an experimental warship housing technology that the brightest minds on Earth had barely begun to understand. Elena had watched its construction over the past year, a project born of desperation after conventional weapons proved useless against the collective's adaptive shielding. The ship's quantum core was based on principles that violated half a dozen laws of physics. It was dangerous, unstable, and according to every simulation, their only chance of survival. A soft chime preceded the appearance of a holographic figure, Dr. Sarah Morrison, her wild red hair tied back in a hasty ponytail. "Commander, you need to see this." The scientist's projection flickered with barely contained excitement. "We've detected something unusual in the collective's communication patterns." Elena strode to the central command table, where a 3-dimensional representation of the enemy fleet hung like a constellation of deadly stars. "Show me." Morrison's hands moved through the hologram, highlighting patterns of energy that pulsed between the alien vessels. "Their quantum signatures aren't uniform. There's a degradation in the signal strength that increases with distance from their command ships. It's subtle, but it's there." "A weakness." Elena leaned forward, studying the data streams. "More than that." Morrison's eyes sparkled. "It's proof that their technological advantage isn't as absolute as we thought. They're struggling to maintain quantum coherence across their network. Their ships might be more advanced than ours, but they're hitting the same quantum limits we encountered in our early experiments." The implications raced through Elena's mind. The collective had appeared 2 years ago, their massive fleet emerging from the depths of space with technology that made humanity's greatest achievements look like children's toys. They had swept through Earth's outer colonies, their ships adapting to every weapon, every strategy, until nothing could stand against them. But if Morrison was right, if they were struggling with quantum coherence, a new signal cut through her thoughts. "Commander," Chen's voice was tight. "We're receiving a transmission from the collective flagship. They're demanding direct communication." Elena straightened her uniform. "Put them through." The holographic display shifted, revealing a figure that still haunted humanity's nightmares. The collective's ambassador was a shifting mass of crystalline structures and flowing energy, its form barely contained within recognizable dimensions. When it spoke, its words emerged in perfect English, each syllable carrying the weight of inevitable doom. "Commander Santos," the creature's voice resonated through the command center. "Your species' persistence is admirable, but ultimately futile. We offer you one final opportunity to surrender. Your technological and biological distinctiveness will be preserved and studied. Resistance will only ensure your extinction." Elena met the ambassador's gaze, her mind racing through possibilities. They needed time. Time to verify Morrison's discovery, time to formulate a plan. "You've pursued us across 27 systems," she responded. "Destroy our colonies, invaded our homeworld. Why?" What could humanity possibly have that's worth this level of dedication? The ambassador's form shimmered, its crystalline structure refracting light in complex patterns. Your question reveals your species' fundamental limitation. You see only what is, not what could be. Humanity is a dangerous variable in the equation of galactic stability. Your adaptability, your unpredictability. These qualities make you an unacceptable risk. And yet, Alina allowed herself a small smile. Here we stand, at humanity's last outpost, still refusing to submit to your equation. The ambassador's form pulsed with what might have been frustration. You have 1 hour to surrender Station Omega and the experimental vessel you believe we haven't detected. Choose wisely, Commander Santos. Even now, your extinction is not our preferred outcome. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in tense silence. Morrison was the first to speak. They know about the Perseverance. Of course they do. Alina turned to her crew, seeing the same mix of fear and determination in their eyes that she felt in her heart. But they don't know everything. Lieutenant Chen, begin evacuation procedures for all non-essential personnel. Dr. Morrison, I need you to verify your findings about their quantum coherence issues. If we're going to die today, I want to make sure we take as many of them with us as possible. She moved to the central command table, bringing up the Perseverance's schematics. The ship was beautiful in its deadliness, a perfect fusion of human ingenuity and desperate necessity. Its quantum core glowed softly in the holographic display, promising either salvation or a spectacular death. And if we're going to live, she added, her voice carrying to every corner of the command center, I need options. Humanity didn't climb out of the mud to reach the stars by accepting impossible situations. We did it by changing the rules of what's possible. As her crew rushed to comply with her orders, Alina studied the approaching collective fleet. Their ships moved with perfect coordination, each vessel part of a greater whole. It was beautiful, in its way, and like all beautiful things, it had to have a flaw. Morrison had found one thread to pull. Now they just needed to figure out how to unravel the entire tapestry. The next hour would determine not just their fate, but the fate of their entire species. Alina Santos, commander of humanity's last line of defense, intended to make every second count. The HFY Perseverance hung in the void like a predator waiting to strike, its obsidian hull absorbing nearby starlight. In the ship's bridge, Commander Alina Santos settled into the neural interface chair, feeling the familiar tingle as the quantum-based systems synchronized with her consciousness. Neural link established. A melodic voice announced, "Araya," the ship's artificial intelligence. Unlike traditional AIs, Araya was quantum-based, capable of existing in multiple probability states simultaneously. All systems operational, Commander. Though I should note that the quantum core is exhibiting unusual harmonic patterns. Define unusual, Alina commanded, watching as her bridge crew took their stations. Each wore neural interface bands that connected them to Araya and the ship's systems, creating a unified consciousness that could react faster than any traditional command structure. Dr. Morrison's voice came through the neural link, her consciousness tinted with excitement and concern. The core is resonating with the collective's quantum fields. It's learning from them, adapting its frequencies to match their communication patterns. Can they detect this? Alina asked, her mind already racing through tactical possibilities. Negative, Araya responded. The resonance is passive, similar to how a mirror reflects light without emitting its own. However, this does present an opportunity. If we can understand their quantum communications, we might be able to. The ship shuddered as the first wave of collective vessels dropped out of quantum space, their organic hulls writhing with deadly purpose. Through the neural link, Alina felt her crew's spike of fear, quickly suppressed by their training and determination. Battle stations, she ordered, her consciousness expanding through the ship's systems. The Perseverance's quantum shields hummed to life, creating layers of probability fields that could absorb or redirect enemy fire by shifting the attack's quantum state. Multiple targeting solutions detected, Lieutenant Chen reported, his consciousness merging with the weapon systems. They're using their standard attack pattern, probing strikes to test our defenses before committing their main force. Elena smiled grimly. Let's show them something new. Area. Initiate defense pattern echo. Dr. Morrison. Channel power to the quantum core, but keep us below critical resonance. The space around the Perseverance shimmered as Area executed the command. The ship's quantum shields didn't just deflect enemy fire. They caught it, held it in probability stasis, and redirected it back at the attackers. The first wave of collective vessels reeled under their own weapons, their adaptive shields struggling to cope with the quantum-shifted energy signatures. Remarkable. Aria's voice carried notes of fascination. Their ships are attempting to adapt, but the quantum resonance is causing cascade failures in their defensive algorithms. They've never encountered a system that could turn their own quantum manipulation against them. Through the neural link, Elena felt Morrison's excitement spike. Commander, the core's resonance patterns, they're not just matching the collective's quantum fields, they're predicting them. We can see their tactical adjustments before they execute them. A massive energy surge from the collective flagship interrupted their breakthrough. The alien vessel's crystalline structure pulsed with blinding light as it launched a quantum torpedo, a weapon that could tear apart the fabric of space itself. Brace for impact. Elena's warning echoed through both verbal and neural channels. Area. Full power to forward shields. The torpedo struck the Perseverance's quantum field, and for a moment, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of detonating, the torpedo's energy began to flow into the ship's quantum core, its destructive potential being absorbed and transformed. Core stability at 130% and rising. Morrison reported, her consciousness tinged with disbelief. The harmonic resonance. It's not just defensive. The core is adapting their own quantum technology, integrating it into our systems. Elena's mind raced through the tactical implications. Can we weaponize this? Theoretically, Area responded, her quantum processors running countless simulations simultaneously. But the energy requirements would be. Incoming transmission. Chen interrupted. The collective flagship is hailing us. The ambassador's crystalline form appeared on the bridge's holographic display, its structure showing signs of agitation. This is impossible. Your technology is primitive. You cannot have developed quantum integration capabilities. Elena allowed herself a cold smile. You called humanity an unacceptable variable in your equation. Perhaps now you understand why. We don't just adapt. We evolve. Area. Show them what we've learned. The Perseverance's quantum core pulsed with newfound power, sending out waves of precisely tuned energy that matched and then disrupted the collective's ship-to-ship communications. Across the battlefield, alien vessels suddenly lost their perfect coordination, their movements becoming erratic as their quantum network struggled to compensate. Fascinating. The ambassador's form flickered. You've weaponized our own quantum resonance against us. Perhaps we underestimated. The transmission cut off as the collective flagship launched a massive counterattack. Hundreds of quantum torpedoes filled space, each one programmed with a different frequency to overwhelm the Perseverance's defenses. They're adapting faster than predicted, Area warned. Shield stability dropping. We cannot sustain this level of quantum absorption. Elena's mind merged deeper with the ship's systems, feeling every impact, every strain on the quantum core. Dr. Morrison, what happens if we push the core past critical resonance? We either tear a hole in spacetime or create a quantum cascade that could disable every ship in range. Morrison replied, there's no way to predict which. Commander, Aria's voice carried an unusual note of concern. I'm detecting a pattern in the collective's attacks. They're not trying to destroy us. They're trying to force us to maintain our quantum shields at maximum power. I believe they're using our own defense systems to analyze and copy our technology." Elena felt a chill run through her neural link. The collective wasn't just fighting them. They were learning, evolving, just as humanity had. This wasn't just a battle for survival anymore. It was a race to see which species could adapt faster. "All hands," she broadcast through the neural network, her consciousness touching each crew member's mind. "What we do in the next few minutes will determine not just our fate, but the fate of our entire species." The collective thought they could predict us, control us, eliminate us because we didn't fit their equations. Let's show them why humanity has survived every challenge we've ever faced. As she prepared to give orders that would either save humanity or doom it, Elena Santos realized that this battle had become something more than a fight for survival. It had become a test of humanity's greatest strength. Not our technology or our weapons, but our ability to face the impossible and find a way through. The quantum core hummed with untapped potential, and in the void of space, two species prepared to discover which would prove more adaptable. The next phase of the battle would determine not just who would survive, but who would evolve. Alarms blared throughout the Perseverance as the quantum core's energy levels continued to spike. Dr. Morrison's hands flew across her console, her neural link transmitting waves of controlled panic through the ship's shared consciousness. "The core's approaching critical threshold," she reported. "The collective's attacks aren't just testing our defenses. They're forcing the core to maintain multiple quantum states simultaneously. If we don't find a way to stabilize it soon." "How long?" Elena demanded, her mind processing tactical data through Araya's quantum interface. 10 minutes, maybe less," Morrison replied. "But that's not the worst part. Commander, I'm detecting changes in their fleet's quantum signature. They're not just copying our technology, they're improving it." Through the bridge viewport, Elena watched as the collective vessels began moving with renewed coordination, their hulls shimmering with familiar energy patterns. They had learned from the Perseverance's quantum shields and were now implementing their own version of the technology. "Araya analysis," Elena commanded. "The collective's adaptive capabilities exceed previous estimates," the AI responded, her voice carrying undertones of fascination. "However, their implementation of our quantum technology differs from ours in a fundamental way. They're approaching it as a purely technological problem, while our system what?" Elena pressed, feeling another impact rock the ship. "Their quantum network is purely mechanical," Lieutenant Chen interrupted, his consciousness merging with the tactical systems. "But ours is merged with human consciousness through the neural link. That's why they can't fully replicate it." Morrison's excitement flooded the neural network. He's right. The quantum core isn't just responding to programmed commands. It's responding to human intuition, to our ability to think laterally and make creative leaps. That's why they've been so determined to eliminate humanity. We don't just use technology. We merge with it in ways they can't predict. The ship shuddered as another barrage of quantum torpedoes struck their shields. "That's fascinating," Elena replied. "But how does it help us survive the next 5 minutes?" "Commander," Araya's voice took on an urgent tone. "I'm detecting a transmission from inside the collective fleet. It's being broadcast on frequencies similar to our quantum core's resonance. Source: a single ship holding position at the fleet's edge. Its quantum signature is different from the others. Less uniform, more chaotic." Elena made a quick decision. "Put it through." A new hologram materialized on the bridge, but instead of the crystalline ambassador, it showed a being that appeared to be composed of swirling energy and organic matter, a hybrid form that seemed to strain against its own existence. "I am Nexus 7. The being spoke, its voice carrying harmonics that resonated with the ship's quantum core. "I represent a faction within the collective that has been watching your species with great interest. We believe you may be the key to our evolution." "Explain," Elena demanded, even as she signaled Chen to maintain weapons lock on the mysterious vessel. The collective seeks perfection through uniformity, Nexus 7 continued. But some of us have begun to question this doctrine. We've observed how your quantum technology merges with human consciousness, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. This is an evolutionary path we never considered possible. Morrison's voice cut through the neural link. Commander, the quantum signatures from their ship, they're similar to what we see when our crew interfaces with the core. They're trying to merge with their technology the way we do. And failing, Nexus 7 added. Our biology, our very nature, resists this kind of integration. But you humans, you adapt, you embrace change, you. The transmission cut off as a massive energy wave emanated from the collective flagship. Elena felt the attack through the neural link, not just energy weapons, but a focused quantum disruption aimed at severing the connection between the Perseverance's crew and its systems. Neural link stability at 60% and falling, Araya reported. The collective is attempting to force a separation between organic and quantum systems. They're trying to make us fight like them, Chen realized. Take away our advantage. Elena's mind raced through possibilities, each one shared instantly with her crew through what remained of the neural link. The collective had revealed their true fear, not of humanity's technology, but of our ability to merge with it, to evolve beyond their rigid definitions of consciousness and machine. Dr. Morrison, she called out, a plan forming in her mind. You said our core was approaching critical threshold. What if instead of fighting it, we embrace it? Push it past the limit, but channel it through the neural link. That's insane, Morrison replied, but Elena felt the scientist's excitement building. The amount of quantum data flowing through human consciousness would be unprecedented. We have no idea what it would do to us. But that's exactly what makes it our best option, Elena argued. The collective can predict and counter any tactical move we make, but they can't predict what happens when we do something even we don't understand. Humanity's greatest discoveries have always come from pushing past what we thought was possible. Commander, Araya interjected, I feel compelled to point out that this course of action has an 89.3% chance of resulting in the complete destruction of this vessel and all aboard. Elena smiled grimly. And what are our chances if we do nothing? Point taken, the AI conceded. Shall I begin preparations for quantum core overload? The bridge crew's consciousness flowed through the neural link, each member contributing their thoughts, their fears, and their determination to the shared network. They had all known this mission might be a one-way trip. Now they had the chance to make that sacrifice mean something. We'll need help, Elena broadcast to Nexus 7's ship. Your understanding of quantum mechanics combined with our ability to merge with technology. Are you willing to evolve with us? The response came immediately. We stand ready. The future of both our species may depend on what happens in the next few minutes. Elena took a deep breath, feeling the quantum core's energy pulsing through the neural link, growing stronger with each passing second. They were about to attempt something that violated every law of physics and consciousness, exactly the kind of impossible feat that humanity had built its history upon. All hands, she announced, her voice carrying through both traditional channels and the neural network. Prepare for quantum core overload. Whatever happens next, remember this. The collective thought they could predict us because they saw technology as something separate from consciousness. We're about to show them why humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to become more than what we were built to be. The battle for humanity's survival was about to enter its most crucial phase, and once again, the human species would attempt to rewrite the rules of what was possible. The only question was whether evolution would prove faster than extinction. Time seemed to slow as the Perseverance's quantum core pushed past its theoretical limits. Through the neural link, Elena felt every crew member's consciousness merge more deeply with the ship's systems, their combined awareness expanding beyond normal human perception. Dr. Morrison's voice came through the shared network, stretched and distorted by the quantum effects rippling through their connected minds. Core temperature beyond measurable parameters, she reported, her thoughts carrying undertones of both terror and exhilaration. Quantum field coherence at 300% of maximum design tolerance. We're approaching a state that shouldn't be physically possible. Collective vessels adjusting formation. Chen added, his consciousness now so integrated with the tactical systems that it was becoming difficult to distinguish where the human ended and the technology began. They're trying to establish a containment field around us. Elena could feel it all. Every system, every circuit, every quantum probability flowing through the ship's networks. Araya's presence wove through their shared consciousness, the AI's quantum processors helping to stabilize the increasingly chaotic merger of human minds and machine intelligence. Nexus 7's ship is in position, Araya announced. They've begun transmitting the modified quantum frequencies. Warning: detecting massive energy buildup in the collective flagship. They're preparing to fire their main weapon array. The ambassador's transmission cut through their communications. Your attempt to transcend your limitations is admirable, but futile. The laws of physics cannot be defied by mere determination. Elena allowed herself a grim smile. That's where you're wrong. Humanity's greatest achievements have always come from defying what others called impossible. Morrison, begin the sequence. The quantum core's energy surged through the neural network, no longer constrained by conventional physical laws. Every crew member felt their consciousness expand, merging not just with the ship's systems, but with the quantum field itself. Through their shared awareness, they could see reality as the collective did, a vast web of probabilities and possibilities, each one a thread that could be manipulated and changed. Neural integration at maximum. Morrison's thoughts rippled through the network. Core stability failing. But in a way I've never seen before. It's not breaking down. It's evolving. The collective flagship fired, its massive energy weapon designed to tear apart both matter and the space it occupied. But as the beam approached the Perseverance, something unprecedented happened. The ship's quantum field, now merged with the combined consciousness of its crew, didn't just deflect the attack. It absorbed it, transformed it, integrated it into their expanding field of possibilities. How? The ambassador's voice carried genuine confusion. Your technology is inferior. Your understanding of quantum mechanics is primitive. You still don't understand. Elena projected her thoughts directly through the quantum field. We're not just using technology. We're becoming something new. Nexus 7, now. The rebel collective ship unleashed its modified quantum pulse, perfectly synchronized with the Perseverance's transformed field. The effect rippled through space like a stone dropped in a pond, but instead of waves, it sent quantum probabilities cascading through reality itself. Through their expanded consciousness, the crew watched as the pulse struck the collective fleet. Ships began to shift and change, their rigid quantum networks disrupted by the introduction of chaos, of human unpredictability merged with machine precision. Their quantum coherence is breaking down, Chen reported, his thoughts tinged with wonder. They can't maintain their neural network. It's too ordered, too inflexible to adapt to these new patterns. But victory came with a price. Elena felt the strain on her crew through the neural link, their minds struggling to contain the vast quantum awareness they'd unleashed. Human consciousness was never meant to perceive reality at this level, to hold multiple quantum states in perfect awareness. Commander, Araya's voice carried urgent harmonics. Crew neural patterns are becoming unstable. We cannot maintain this state without risking permanent damage to their minds. Just a little longer, Elena pushed through the pain, feeling her crew's determination matching her own. Morrison, status of the collective fleet. Their ships are losing cohesion. The scientists' thoughts were becoming erratic, fractured by the quantum overload. The hybrid quantum field we created. It's forcing them to either adapt or shut down. They can't maintain their rigid structure in the face of this much chaos. Through the viewport, Elena watched as collective vessels began to power down, their perfect formation dissolving into disarray. Only the flagship maintained its position, its crystalline structure pulsing with desperate energy as it tried to assert control over its failing fleet. "You don't understand what you're doing." The ambassador's transmission was breaking up. "The order we maintain, it's necessary. Without it, chaos, evolution, unpredictability." "Exactly." Elena pushed the thought through their quantum link. "That's what you feared about humanity, isn't it? Not our technology, but our ability to embrace chaos, to evolve beyond our limitations. You saw us as a threat because we represent everything you've tried to suppress in yourselves." The quantum field surrounding the Perseverance began to fluctuate wildly as human consciousness reached its limits. Elena felt her crew's minds starting to fragment under the strain, their thoughts becoming scattered across multiple probability states. "Commander," Aria's voice cut through the chaos. "We must end this now. Human neural patterns cannot sustain this level of quantum integration." Elena reached out through the neural link, touching each crew member's consciousness, feeling their pain, their determination, their unwavering courage in the face of impossible odds. They had pushed themselves beyond every known limit, rewritten the rules of what was possible. But even humanity's legendary adaptability had its breaking point. "Begin emergency shutdown sequence," she ordered, her thoughts already growing distant as reality started to reassert itself. "Morrison, Chen, all hands, prepare for quantum field collapse." As the Perseverance's revolutionary systems began powering down, Elena sent one final transmission to the collective flagship. "Remember this moment. Remember what happened when you tried to force the universe into perfect order. Evolution isn't about achieving perfection. It's about embracing change, even when it terrifies you." The quantum field collapsed, and normal space-time crashed back into focus. The crew's merged consciousness separated back into individual minds, leaving them gasping and disoriented but alive. Before them, the once mighty collective fleet drifted in disarray, their perfect order shattered by an impossible fusion of human consciousness and quantum mechanics. They had won, but as Elena looked at her exhausted crew, she knew this was only the beginning. They had shown the galaxy something new, not just about humanity's potential, but about the true nature of evolution itself. The question now was, what would rise from the chaos they had unleashed? The aftermath of battle hung in space like a frozen moment. Disabled collective vessels drifted in the void, their once perfect formation now a scattered debris field of dormant ships. On the Perseverance's bridge, Elena Santos watched her crew recover from their unprecedented merger with quantum reality, their minds slowly adjusting back to normal consciousness. "Status report," she ordered, her own voice sounding strange in her ears after experiencing the pure thought communication of their shared quantum state. "Core is stabilized at 20% capacity," Morrison reported, her hands trembling slightly as she worked her console. "The quantum field modifications we made, they're permanent. We couldn't return the system to its original configuration, even if we wanted to." Multiple collective vessels showing signs of reactivation, Chen added, his tactical displays highlighting ships beginning to power up. "But their quantum signatures are different, more chaotic, more like ours." Aria's holographic form materialized, her usual precise appearance now shifting and flowing like liquid light. "The quantum pulse we created didn't just disable their fleet, it fundamentally altered their neural network. They can no longer maintain the rigid order they relied upon." A transmission cut through their contemplation, but instead of the ambassador's crystalline form, multiple figures appeared, some pure energy, others biomechanical, each one unique and distinct. Nexus 7 spoke first, its hybrid form more stable than before. "What you have done cannot be undone," it said, but there was no accusation in its tone. "The collective's perfect order, maintained for millennia, has been shattered. But perhaps that is not the catastrophe we once feared." Another figure stepped forward, its form continuously shifting between states. "We are changing, evolving in ways we never imagined possible. The quantum chaos you introduced to our network has awakened something we had long suppressed: the ability to adapt, to change, to become more than the sum of our programming. Elena straightened in her command chair, feeling the weight of this moment. That's what you feared about humanity, wasn't it? Not our technology or our weapons, but our fundamental nature. We don't just adapt to change. We embrace it, seek it out, use it to become something new. Yes, the former ambassador's voice came through, its crystalline form now organic and flowing. We saw your species' unpredictability as a threat to the perfect order we had created. We could not comprehend how a civilization could progress through chaos rather than structure. But now you understand that true evolution requires both. Morrison interjected, her scientific curiosity overcoming her exhaustion. Order provides the foundation, but chaos introduces the variations necessary for growth. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about the constant journey of becoming. Through the viewport, Elena watched as the collective ships began moving again, but not in their previous rigid formations. Each vessel now moved independently, while maintaining harmony with the whole, like a dance where every partner was both individual and part of a greater pattern. The question, Nexus 7 said, is what happens now. We cannot return to what we were, but we do not yet know what we will become. Elena smiled, feeling a deep resonance with these beings who had been their enemies mere hours ago. That's the beauty of evolution. You're not supposed to know. Humanity has survived countless challenges, not because we could predict the future, but because we learned to face it without fear. Your quantum technology, one of the other beings spoke, it's more than just advanced science. It's a bridge between consciousness and reality itself. We would learn from you, share knowledge, explore these new possibilities together. Aria's holographic form pulsed with interest. The potential applications are fascinating. The merger of human intuition with quantum computing opened pathways we never theorized possible. Combined with the collective's advanced understanding of quantum mechanics, we could reshape our understanding of reality itself. Morrison finished, her eyes bright with possibilities. But Chen's tactical training hadn't deserted him. Commander, are we certain we can trust them? After everything that's happened? Elena considered the question carefully, feeling the quantum core's energy humming through the ship. The technology they'd created, born of desperate necessity, had changed both humanity and the collective in fundamental ways. There was no going back, only forward, into unknown territory. Trust isn't about certainty, she finally replied. It's about recognizing when change is necessary and having the courage to embrace it. We've all evolved beyond what we were. The only question is whether we're brave enough to see where this evolution leads. She stood, addressing both her crew and the assembled collective representatives. Humanity stood at the edge of extinction, and instead of falling, we jumped into quantum chaos, into impossible possibilities, into a future no one could predict. We did it not because we knew we would succeed, but because evolution has always been our greatest strength. The ability to change, Nexus 7 mused, to become more than what you were designed to be. Perhaps that is the true marker of intelligence in the universe. Through the neural link, now forever altered by their quantum integration, Elena felt her crew's agreement, their excitement at the possibilities ahead. The Perseverance had lived up to its name, carrying humanity through its darkest hour into a new dawn. Send word to Earth, she ordered. Tell them that humanity hasn't just survived. We've helped spark an evolution that will reshape the galaxy, and we're just getting started. As the transmission was sent, Elena looked out at the stars, knowing they would never look quite the same again. Humanity had faced extinction, and instead achieved transcendence, not through overwhelming force or superior technology, but through our most fundamental quality, our ability to adapt, to change, to become something new. The quantum core pulsed with energy, its rhythms now synchronized with both human consciousness and the evolving patterns of their former enemies. In the void of space, a new chapter in the story of intelligence was beginning, one where the line between organic and artificial, order and chaos, known and unknown would blur and reshape itself in endless possibilities. Humanity had not just persevered. We had shown the galaxy that true evolution never ends. It just opens doors to new horizons, new challenges, and new ways of becoming more than we ever imagined possible.